Your Excellency, President Olaf Ragnar Grimsson, currently Chairman of the Arctic Circle, and distinguished guests, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor for me to participate in this Arctic Circle conference taking place in my country. I have been visiting Iceland to participate in Arctic conference. And I'd like to most warmly welcome President Grimsson, with whom I have been working very, very closely in addressing climate phenomena during the last 10 years, many years. There are many world leaders, political, business, and civil society leaders with whom I had been working closely, but I can just proudly tell you that President Grimsson was one of the very few political leaders who had really pushing very hard and who has given me a very passionate and wholehearted support. And my visit to Iceland has really convinced me many times that climate change was happening and still happening much, much faster. When I flew over Iceland, all these Arctic places, after that, President Grimsson warned me that in 150 years, unfortunately, or I don't know, fortunately, Greenland, Iceland may be a Greenland. I don't know whether people of Iceland wants to live in Iceland or Greenland, but it's up to them. But the message was very alarming. The whole this beautiful ices will be melt down, and the roaring sound of this melting water from melting ice just gathered together, falling down. It was like a roaring sound of Niagara Falls. I was so much surprised, alarmed by all this rapidly changing nature. During my many years, after I met President Grimsson, I had been keeping a small gift which I received from President Grimsson, which is a very alarmingly darkening the planet, the small planet, model planet, that was giving all the times alarming messages, whoever came to see me and to my office. So that I've been telling them, this is what I received from President of Iceland. Our Earth is now becoming like this, darkening with all these greenhouse gas emissions. So in any way, Mr. President, I really thank you for your continuing leadership. I recall my first participation in Arctic Circle Assembly back in 2016, where I was honored by the very first Arctic Circle Prize, as was introduced by President Grimsson just now. The prize came at the heel of COP21. It was meant as sort of some recognition of what I had been doing to help Paris climate change agreement reached in December 2015. At that time, after receiving this prize, I said, I quote, "We have just passed a historic threshold," unquote. Now looking back, now standing here, I think unfortunately I was too soon to declare that. We are going back to the other side of that threshold. I'm so sorry that as you are, I'm also very much concerned by this lacking and I think, stepping back of this climate implementation process. While this Katowice COP24 is now being held, the message coming from Katowice is not encouraging. I just read this morning that the president of Poland said that, well, we have 80% of all these coals. It's unwise not to use whole this full of coals. This is what I had been having trouble with some leaders, like a prime minister of Poland or prime ministers of Australia, who once declared during a G20 summit that we cannot let this coal not be used for as an important source of energy or something like this at the G20 summit meeting. These are very much worrisome. Just a few days ago, the Secretary General Antonio Guterres, my successor, opened COP24 with the words, I quote, "We are in trouble." We are in trouble. I agree. We are in deep trouble. That's why just, I think it was on the day of opening of this COP21 on Monday, Wednesday, I had BBC TV and Al Jazeera, AP on live TVs while staying in Japan, expressing my deep concern and urging the delegations to do all what they could do. Particularly, I was asked, what do you think about the President Trump's withdrawal from this Paris Agreement? I spoke out that President Trump's decision to withdraw was politically short-sighted, economically irresponsible, scientifically dead wrong, and he will be standing in the wrong side of history. It was very widely carried out by BBC, and I have been repeatedly stating that he must return. I believe that US will have to return as a global leading country. If not during his term, then soon they will have to come for humanity. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the Arctic is a ground zero for climate change. According to scientists, the magnitude of change being recorded at the Arctic due to its climate registers at double the rate of those recorded elsewhere. For example, the rising temperature at the Arctic not only results in faster melting of Arctic ice cap, but also raises the sea level around the world, endangering the lives in island countries such as Kiribati. When the Arctic suffers, the rest of the world feels the pain. The record-breaking heat waves and cold being experienced here in Korea are also related to the change in the Arctic climate. They say that there is a high chance that Korea may experience one of the coldest winters yet this year. The Arctic is not only important for our response to the climate change, but also our efforts to implement the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It is imperative that we put our highest minds together to explore ways to utilize the natural resources of the Arctic. In particular, the development of the Arctic route must be approached not only from the economic point of view, but also from the sustainable development point of view. Issues of the Arctic is not for any single or a group of countries to solve alone. The global challenge requires global solution. Not a single country, however powerful or resourceful one may be, can do it alone. We need to work together. We are all in this together. Ladies and gentlemen, the Arctic Circle Forum brings together various stakeholders to discuss the latest scientific research, innovative models of cooperation, and the national policies of interested parties. Through these discussions, I'm sure that we can find a better and sustainable ways to develop and preserve the Arctic for generations to come. I congratulate all those involved in preparing for this week's forum in Korea, which I understand is the first Arctic Circle meeting in East Asia. I wish you productive discussions. I think it is an excellent opportunity to think about the Arctic from the Asian perspective, which can further deepen the understanding between stakeholders in the Arctic region with those from non-Arctic region. Let me conclude my remarks by thanking the terms at the Arctic Circle Secretariat and Korean government in preparation for this forum. Of course, the former President Grimson, who founded the Arctic Circle and serves as its chairman, should be recognized for his tireless passion and dedication to this cause. To those participants from abroad visiting Korea for the forum, I urge you to take advantage of this opportunity to explore the full potential of Korea as a partner in this common endeavor. Your scheduled visit to Korea Polar Research Institute and Arctic Partnership Week next week in Busan will be useful in this regard. Again, on behalf of the climate change conscious communities around the world, many people around the world, I thank you for your engagement and support and leadership. And I thank you very much for your attention.